So today we're in Portmelon, which is actually where we live. And we're going to take you on one of our very favourite walks out to Chapel Point. We might see some wildlife on the way as well, we just don't know yet. But it's a lovely walk and we're hoping that you're going to come along with us. So Portmelon used to be a place where they used to build boats. There was a man called Percy Mitchell, and there's still Mitchells around here. And he used to have a boatyard just here, and this was the old slipway that they used to launch the boats down. Oh, I'm going to get wet in a minute, I think. So it's quite dangerous now, but that was the old slipway where they used to launch the boats down. And Portmelon also used to have its own lifeboat, and there's a lifeboat house up there. And there was an awful lot of fishing going on from here as well, which is why there was a boat builder here. There have been loads of fishermen out here. There's still quite a lot in Mevergissi, and they used to catch mackerel. And periodically you'll see shoals of mackerel coming in, and when they do, you'll see lots of people out with their fishing rods trying to catch them as well. I'm Jill, behind the camera is Roger, and we are Which Way Now? So this beach actually disappears when the tide's high. The tide's coming in at the moment and it'll be high at about 3 o'clock-ish. There's no beach at all then for a few hours. And then when the tide goes out, it goes right out to the rocks out there, the edge of the rocks. And we have a lovely big beach, which is great. And in the summer, it's often got lots of families and things on it. And it's a nice place to swim in the summer too. But in the winter, or when there are easterlies, this looks quite different, I have to say. And often, and I do use the word often, if there's easterlies, the seaweed is all over the road, the waves come up over the houses behind me as well, and it looks a very, very different place. We love it because we're just a little bit up the hill and we can watch the waves from our house, and we know that we're not in any danger of getting swallowed by them, but it is quite dramatic in the winter. So on the way to Chapel Point, you have to come through quite a few houses, well, about 25 or so. The very large houses, the ones on the left-hand side of us, are looking out over the sea. The ones on the right are looking out over the sea as well, but not quite as much. And there's only about 5 or 6 of them that I lived in full time as well, which is really sad, because they're gorgeous houses. But we're about to get run over, Roger.
But it's quite nice, the fact that we're only running through the houses for 100, 150 yards, something like that, a couple of 100 yards maybe at most. And then you actually enter open countryside. So not far of this walk is actually through houses.
So we've just got past the houses that we talked about, and this is the lovely, lovely view that you get out behind us. It's absolutely gorgeous. As Roger said, it's only a couple of 100 yards through the houses as well.
And considering it's beginning of February, it's actually not a bad day.
It was meant to be really horrible today as well, wasn't it? So yeah.
It was. No, it's actually a lot better than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it is. Very nice at the moment, and it's quite warm as well, actually. It's not too cold,
No,
is it?
it's not, no. There is a bit of a hill that we've just climbed up, so I think that's probably why we're quite warm.
And that's why you can hear Roger heavy breathing.
Yep, not too bad.
So after you've walked along this track for a little bit, then we have to take a left turn down quite a steep hill to get to the path out to Chapel Point. Now this can be very, very muddy, so let's hope it's not too muddy today, because if it is, it'll be very slippery. But hopefully the rain that we had last night has not made it too bad. We'll just have to wait and see. And again, lovely views out to the left here. I love stopping here and just looking round and seeing these stunning views. There's Foy over there that you can see, and there's Parr. You can see Pentuan as well, and Mevergissi Harbour with the lighthouse on the end there. So if we go back now to this downhill path, let's see what it's going to look like. It's actually not too bad at the moment, but it's normally the last bit that's the muddiest bit. But this doesn't actually look too bad at all, which is great. Hopefully it means I won't have to hold on to Roger when I get to the bottom of the hill. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know what I mean. In fact, this path is a new bit of path because it used to be slightly further to the left, and that got so worn away that they thought people were going to fall over the edge of the cliff, and I think they were also worried that the path was going to be eroded away as well. So they moved the path over to the right a little bit more. And this is very muddy here and very slippery as well. So I'm just going very slowly because I don't want to fall on my bum. Ooh, this is very soggy, this bit here. Okay, we're just going to have to pick our way across here, I think. Yeah, very soggy and squidgy. And then we go through the gate and into the field. And on the right here, there's a sign that tells you what kind of wildlife we might be about to see. We don't know if there'll be any there, but we'll hope so. So mild today, I even took my gloves off.
When you're walking along this track, you never know who you're actually going to meet along the track. Who's going to turn around first, us or them?
Them.
Them. We're actually going to take a different track. We could go that way, but we've decided to take the lesser track and leave them in peace, although they have all now...
They're very scared, I think, aren't
Yes.
they? That's the thing. You'd think they'd be used to humans, though, wouldn't you, really? So we've just been to see the seals, and there's a sign here that says sensitive wildlife area. When we first moved in, and up to about 4 or 5 years ago, this fence and these gates weren't here. And during lockdown, loads of people just came in. There's about 100 people used to just come and look at the seals, and they scared them all away, basically. But in the winter, the seals live on that beach. They don't live there in the summer, but in the winter they do. So if you do come, please be very quiet when you go and see the seals. So this is Chapel Point houses, and there's 3 residences on here. And the reason it's called Chapel Point is that actually this used to be a monastery or a nunnery, as you can probably see from the windows in that house nearest to us. And then when, I think in the early 1900s, that dissolved, and I think they stood empty for quite a few years, and it's now 3 residences. The people don't live here all year round, but that's fine. And we just met one of the ladies actually walking her dogs as well.
But you can see here just how remote these 3 houses are. There's about a driveway, private driveway, of about a mile or so to get here. And it is absolutely spectacular in the middle of the winter, especially when you have the waves crashing up and they can actually see on 3 sides, effectively, what's happening with the weather. Stunning places, but not cheap.
Definitely not. So this is Kelowna Beach. This is the end of our lovely walk. It's only about a mile from home, and we absolutely love it. It's kind of full of seaweed at the moment, but it often is in the winter. There's seals in the sea behind us, and there's a warship out there as well, and we often see warships which have been refitted in Plymouth coming out for a little bit of manoeuvres and checking that everything's working, we're assuming.
But yeah, it's high tide in 2 hours' time. So obviously this beach gets a lot bigger at low tide, and it's a really nice beach. But the only way to get here is to walk about a mile. So,
Or to come on your canoe, which we've done.
Or to come on your canoe, indeed. So it's normally very, very quiet. There's hardly anybody here, and it's lovely.
We've swum here quite a few times as well, haven't we, with my sister and my brother and people like that. And the water's always cold because it's Cornwall, but actually it's a beautiful place to swim because the water's very, very clear as well. We love this beach, and one of the reasons we love this beach is because we also call it the secret beach. Because when our goddaughters were visiting quite a few years ago, we were at home and we said we were going to walk to the beach, and they were horrified that it was going to be a mile walk to the beach. And so I said, well, we're going to go to the secret beach, and suddenly it made it much more exciting. We had to carry a lot of the stuff, didn't we?
We did,
but
yes.
It was fine, and they walked here and back without any problem whatsoever, and that was because it was the secret beach. And when they come down, we still call it the secret beach.
And they're not so bothered about walking down here anymore.
No.
Now they're a bit older, and we don't have to carry their buckets and spades, which is always nice.
That's always a bonus,
Yeah.
isn't it? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and send us a comment.